It's Wednesday morning, 20 past 4 in the morning. That's the moon, not the sun. And today's the day we try to get the plot planted in a day. So it's about this time of year that time is just a number, and 4 o'clock in the morning is just a number. Getting them planted in a day does help when you've got friends. Thanks Dave for giving us a hand. And that's pretty much the last 2 of the 600 going in the ground. It's Friday morning. Plants have been in just over a day, and already I can see, whether you can but I can, that they're putting their arms out as such. The leaves are settling in and they're just starting to lighten in the tip growth, which is normally a sign of them starting to establish in the hole and find their base dressing. There's not a lot of work to do now, so make the most of it, because there will be plenty to do later. Jobs to do that are ongoing all the time will be putting the canes in. I'll show you that shortly, so that we get the 3 canes in per plant. It takes a while to do, and it's not a job that you want to be doing when you should be debranching or tying. The plants don't get tied really until I've gone down to my numbers, but if I can get the canes in first, it saves a lot of time when it comes to it. I need to source my straw. I'll need about 40 bales of straw for this. I'll keep on top of the spraying. They've been watered in. We had rain yesterday, hopefully a little bit more today, and that's going to do the plants some good. The next water I'll do will probably be about maybe Saturday or Sunday, and it won't be a water, it'll be the first feed in the ground, a high nitrogen feed. Slug pellets are down, they went down Wednesday. We'll obviously keep an eye on pests for spraying, and really we've got a couple of weeks. I need to sort out an irrigation system and try to get that down as well, so we'll go through those bits probably at the end of this week, being Tuesday. I should be looking to make the first stops on the plants that I'm going to be double stopping, and just evaluating the smaller ones and deciding whether to do so on those or not. Right, just to make a point on caning, I've seen it a few times on various plots. We've already got the first cane in. This is just a plant of Canora Challenger. And you see people pushing the plant canes in, one there and one there. Now there's no point in doing that. There's a lot of space obviously to the next plant. It's a bit vertical. If we go back, now we plant the plants 2 foot apart, and we plant them for the reason being that they need that space, and we want the plants to fill the space. So there's no value in putting the canes in tight to the plant and bunching them up. Give them the space they can and put them out so that they're almost touching each other. It's a bit hard to do with one hand while filming with the other, so that they feel the space that you give them. There's a few done there. Now I tend to put the outside ones, the ones nearest to the path, slightly more vertical in one way, but angular that. If we're going to direct this plant in any way, as it grows up, they tend to fall out of the bed. They tend to go lean that way, obviously because there's plants on this edge, and if you get a strong wind rattle through the covers, it'll push them that way. So I tend to keep this row slightly more vertical. If I'm going to guide the plant anywhere, I want to guide it that way, and it means that where we've got this slightly narrow path, obviously we'll still get up and down the path. The other thing to bear in mind, and you may do this closer on certain varieties, but Obviously this plant is going to produce somewhere in the region of 4, not obviously at the same time, but 3 to 4 10-inch flowers, and they're going to fill quite an area, and we need space to be able to spread those blooms out within that area so that they're not going to hit each other, they don't get damaged. So make the most of your space that you've got, and put the canes in appropriately so you can. There's no need to walk between these plants, they're only in double rows, so I don't need to start sort of getting between here to work on the plant. I can do it all from the front face. So just make sure you fill the bed with plant. Only 1200 more to do. There's the first 2 beds done. It's a bit hard to spot the plants now, it's a bit more of a sea of canes. I know some people use mesh or carnation wire or pig wire and then net the whole bed. It is labour saving, but I don't see any cultural benefit for it. The plants tend to sprawl out a little bit from there. You still have to poke them through the holes, and quite often they grow out the sides of the confines and you end up tying them in. I've also known in strong winds it's the whole bed's being supported as one, and the whole bed will go over in the wind. If there's a weak spot in amongst these canes, then maybe a cane and a plant might move, but at least it's independent of the others and the others stay put. So it might take a bit more time and it might take a bit more work, but if it's of a benefit, then I'll stick with it. Just to show you that the slug pellets are working. It's always fun to see. I use whatever I can lay my hands on, and slug clear is what I've used this time, and they seem to be cheap enough. I think about £3 a pop. And you can see there's a fine collection of dead slugs that have found the pellets on way to having their lunch, and how nice of them, they've all died together. So it's good to see that things work, and that's a few less holes in my leaves. And over there is out of focus, a snail that's suffering the same fate. It doesn't take long to sort of get a hold of these critters, and just keep on top of it. Obviously if it's raining and it's watering, they soon dissipate, so just keep them going in probably about every 10 days until the plants are well away. Right, I've just found a new toy. It's a Gardena micro drip. It's a rigid irrigation system, as you can see here, and basically every 12 inches there's a dripper built into this hard plastic pipe, and that dripper is regulated so it drips 1.6 litres per hour per dripper. So basically where there's the plants are 2 foot apart, there's 2 drippers per plant and 3.2 litres per hour delivered. It's a pressurised system. It runs on a pressure regulator, which is just a fitting in the pipe, and it means that I can be confident that even on this slope that I'm running on, that each plant is going to get that 3.2 litres per hour pretty much. So it's down there on single legs, just teed off from the main pipe. It just connects to the hose as standard there. And it's just got the first couple of reels of 50 metres in, and literally just plugged it in to see how it's working. And it seems to be working well. It's a pipe that actually can be buried underground. The drippers have been designed so they don't block, but obviously I'm just laying it on the top, and that will go underneath the mulch when it goes in, and hopefully should save me probably about a day a week with the watering, once I can get it all in. It's now Wednesday the 1st of June. It's my only day off this week, so it's time to do a bit of work in the garden. Today I'm going to be giving them their first feed. The plants are in the ground, they've been in there a week now, and I'm sure you can see that they've grown a bit, they've settled in, put their arms out, as I tend to say. And it's also time to have a look at plants that may not be doing so well. You can see I've got all the irrigation in there as well, so it's going to help save some time. Now, there's a plant of Mycroft Jan, which has been in now a week, and I'm happy with that, it's growing. There is a little crinkle to the foliage, and I think that's where you've got to have confidence in the plants that you planted. This is generally due to the roots hitting the base dressing and the fertiliser in the hole, and it just makes them go a bit crinkly. They grow through it and it strengthens them up. So I'm not unduly worried about that, but that's what they should be looking like, there and there, and obviously up the bed, and then we've got a plant that looks like that. So it's quite obvious, it's root rot. The plant's flagging, it's gone very dark green. It probably wouldn't have been that strong to start with. And we'll have a look. Let me take it up. Little or no root. Now that may re-root, they often do, but I really don't want to be sort of starting that far behind. So this is where the spare plants come in, and that will be planted in its place. So I'll do a quick scan across the whole plot and make sure that there isn't any others. I think there might be one Winholm that is struggling, and I'll change that as well. Once that's done, then they're going to be getting their first feed, liquid feed, which I'll show you in a moment.